What's up, everybody? Before we get into this week's episode of the podcast, I want to tell you guys that Super Bowl Sunday, February 7th, we will be going live on TikTok to be doing some sweepstakes. We're going to be giving away some stickers. We're going to have some trivia games. It's going to be around an hour-long live where you can interact with us. We're all going to be here. The sweepstakes, you'll be able to enter to win a $100 NFL store gift card, or you could enter to win Madden 21, and as well as that, we'll be giving away 10 stickers. It'll be a lot of fun, and we hope to see you guys on Sunday for the Super Bowl. Now let's continue with our regularly scheduled program. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Dorm Debate Podcast. It is Super Bowl weekend as we're recording this. It is Tuesday, so it is Super Bowl week. And we are so excited. We got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We got the Kansas City Chiefs. You guys already know the deal. It's in Tampa. We got Tom Brady versus Patrick Mahomes. The whole crew is here. We're here to pick our Super Bowl winners. Now, as a refresher, you already know from Jonathan and I's bracket that I have the Bucs winning and Jonathan has the Chiefs winning. But there are still question marks with Caleb and John. So we're going to get their answers right off the bat. And once we get those answers, we'll be able to discuss amongst ourselves. So without further ado, the time traveler himself, John, who is your pick, Bucs or Chiefs?
Well, I've been a time traveler this whole season, except for the playoffs. To be honest, I've pretty much sucked picking the playoffs. Jonathan and Jared, you guys deserve, all the credit for having the time machine in the past few weeks, because you guys both predicted Bucs and Chiefs Super Bowl. Amazing. Yep. That's very hard to do.
Yeah.
But I'm interested to hear if you guys stand by your decision and what your biggest fear is for, if the biggest weak link of the team you chose to win, like why you think they could lose. But I'm going to get right into it. I'm going to give you guys my pick first, and then I'm going to talk about my reasoning. So I think the Buccaneers are going to win 30-28. I think they're going to get revenge for the Week 12 loss. I think they're going to, they started the game down 17-0 in that game, and then they outscored the Chiefs 24-10 in the remaining, three quarters. And I think, they have all the pieces this year. When you look at the Buccaneers, they have all the pieces together. One big thing for the Chiefs, they're two starting tackles. Their right tackle, Mitchell Schwartz, and their left tackle, Eric Fisher, are out for the Super Bowl. They will not be present, and their center was put on the COVID list. It seems like he's going to be fine, but, a couple practices, missed before the big game. That's never good. But the big thing is these tackles. And one reason why it's so big is that in the Buccaneers game against the Packers, they had 5 sacks on Rodgers, and all 5 of the sacks came when the Buccaneers rushed only 4 pass rushers. So if you can rush only 4 pass rushers and you get pressure, plus the other team isn't going to have their starting left and right tackle, that's bad news for the Chiefs, because if you could get pressure on Mahomes with 4 guys, then that'd be great, because you could drop even more guys back. You know how important it is to have players in coverage against Tyreek and Kelsey. If you could double both of them and rush one less guy, that's the world of difference. So I think that's a big thing in this game. But I also think, it's tough to bet against Tom Brady. I think this, like I talked about last week, this is Jordan versus LeBron. In 20 years, or, in 10 years from now, when Mahomes retires, I think he's going to be regarded as one of the best. He'll probably have 4 Super Bowls, 5, maybe something like that. I don't think he'll get to 6 or 7. But, I don't think Brady, both these players want to win this game, but I just think Brady has the poise. So one thing is that all these games this year, the Chiefs had to not come from behind, but they had to win the close game. So I like that they had to win the close game. But last year in the playoffs, they had to come behind in every game. And when it was 20-10 with like 13 minutes left in the fourth quarter of the Super Bowl last year, like Mahomes seemed a little bit nervous. He did have that big play to Hill, and then they capitalized on the touchdown. And then, the rest is history. But he did seem a little nervous. And Brady's experience in this game is going to be big. I think that's going to be a big difference. And one last stat, which is something that typically I would bring up, which it doesn't mean a whole lot, but I think it's interesting. The last 16 Super Bowl winners, 13 of them have worn white. And while that doesn't seem like very important stat, the Buccaneers, when they played at home against the Chiefs, they wore red and they lost. So now they're the home team for the Super Bowl. They got to choose, okay, let's choose white because let's switch it up. And also let's do the stats. Okay. So we probably have like an 80% chance of winning, if we choose white. So they get their home locker rooms. They get to change their jersey color from when they lost to the Chiefs. So they have a different mindset that this is a different game. And then they come to the Super Bowl. 13 of the last 16 Super Bowl winners have worn white jerseys. And then since 2017, it's alternated white winner versus non-white winner. And last year was a non-white winner. So this year must be a white color jersey winner. So I'm picking the Bucks 30-28. But to be honest, I don't really care who wins this game. I just can't wait to see a great game. I'm just super excited to watch the two best battle it out. And I hope it's high scoring like I predicted.
This has been on my mind all week because I had the Packers winning the whole thing, and obviously that didn't pan out. But it's been a frequent thought because I was very undecided for a long time, and John, you said something before a few weeks ago in terms of my bracket where if I went with my head and not my heart, I would have chosen Brady to beat
Yeah.
the Packers. Because in terms of my bracket, I think that's like the one. No, I've had a few others, but um, in conclusion, I've thought a lot about this because as an Eagles fan, I hate Tom Brady. As a human being, I don't know him. It's like he's one of those players that has won so much that you hate how successful they are. Like when Kobe Bryant retired, rest in peace. Like but the commercials were like all singing about how much they hated him. If you guys remember that commercial,
Mhm.
and I guess part of me as an Eagles fan, as a sports fan, is like some of that hate was also rooted that it was the Patriots' success. So for him to potentially win another Super Bowl without them makes me a little soft-hearted. So on this one, I will say my heart wants the Chiefs, but I'm picking the Bucks to win this one.
Yes.
Wow.
I will
Yes.
be happy as I will be a happy camper if the Chiefs win. I want the Chiefs to win. If they win, if I'm wrong, I'd rather be wrong than be right. Okay, because I still have that disdain for Brady. But I gotta say, if he wins against the up and comer, probably top quarterback, young quarterback of his class, that's undeniable. Like that's because I've always dogged them a little bit for and with some fair credit. Patriots were not in a tough division. They have a good defense for years. I mean, there's a lot of factors that attributed it. It's never one person, but for him to go to the Bucks and almost single-handedly make it to the Super Bowl, you got to give credit. So for him to
So
win it, yeah,
So are you giving the win? Like I know you've been wavering back and forth,
yeah,
but
yeah.
are you giving the win to the Bucks like solely because of Brady, or is it other factors as well?
Yeah, it's other factors. I mean, this was a game time decision, as I told you guys. Obviously, I mean, I've bet against Brady before when even he's against the Eagles, and came up on top on that one. Thankfully, shout out Eagles, still holding on to that win. Um, but I feel like this time around, it's. I feel like the Bucks have a chance to surprise because I think the over under or whatever is like the Chiefs are favorites to win barely. It's still going to be a competitive game, but they have so many offensive weapons in Hill, Kelsey, who are healthy. But I think they have a reason to surprise, and I think for some of the reasons you mentioned, John, that I believe the offensive tackle is out, Eric Fisher for the Chiefs, which is going to hurt, and the center is questionable because of
Hmm.
and Demarcus Robinson. Daniel Kilgore, the center, wide receiver Demarcus Robinson, as well as Sammy Watkins are all questionable. Robinson and Kilgore for the COVID protocols, but that's because of close contact, not because of, to my understanding, they're showing symptoms. So I feel like the center and Mark Robinson will be back, but not having your tackle there can be an exploitable thing. And you do see the reason I think the Bucks can surprise, even though I want the Chiefs to win, is because it was a close game the last time they had, and this I like what you said that Chiefs have a history of winning close games, but so do the Bucks in terms of also beating rematches. I mean, no one people were saying that it's very hard to win out three times, and they beat the Saints the third time around. So I think they're liable to surprise us because of that kind of pattern there. I also think like I mentioned this I think 2 weeks ago, but I kind of think maybe the Buccaneers defense is like a young Legion of Boom. They just don't have the nickname yet. I'm sure it's there, but they have a lot of young talent.
Could you come up with one right now?
I was thinking like Pirates or something, or like the Cannon of Boom or something. I don't know.
I'll think of one. I'll come up with one at the end of the
Yeah, but like if they win it, it's like that might be the emerging of like, oh, Brady might be around longer because they have a new Legion of Boom on the Tampa Bay. We just don't know it yet, So I feel like they're going to surprise because of the pass rush that they're going to be able to get on Mahomes. And Mahomes can run, but if they can limit the run game, the Buccaneers defense is really good at stopping the run up the middle. And if they can limit Clyde Edwards-Helaire, I believe Le'Veon Bell's questionable, but if he's in, that gives them options. They still have Williams, but the Chiefs are going to want to diversify. Like they obviously want to put it into your best player's hands, which is Mahomes, but you got to be able to open up the offensive plays. And nothing erodes when you have a player as good as Brady. You have to have a run game to limit how long he's on the field. That's just a fact. I mean, whether it's Rodgers or anyone else, that's just a fact. So if the Buccaneers are forcing the Kansas City Chiefs to come from behind, constantly pass, and not get anything on the run game, which I think that Buccaneers defensive line is capable of doing, that's gonna, I think, surprise us because of the pressure they got. Like, look at what they got on Rodgers. I mean, to be able to do that, Mahomes is going to be harder, and they have a better offensive line. I think the Chiefs do than the Packers, but I think that's where they can surprise us, where we underestimate this defense. I said that the Saints probably had the best statistical defense up until the Bucs came into town and beat them. But I do want to mention I believe Antonio Brown is doubtful for the game, which is going to be a factor. It seems like he practiced a little bit, but it doubtful is what the most recent injury update is on him. So that being said, I still think with Miller, with Evans, with who was the tight end? I forget his name.
Brate.
Yeah, I can't remember. I used to have him on Madden years ago. But they have enough pieces there, and with Brady that they can win it, And I don't know. I've bet against Brady for so long that I feel like, in a way, if I get it right, then yeah, cool, I got it right. Whatever. It's cool to see kind of greatness if he wins it. Like, finally prove it to me that he can win without Belichick, without the Patriot system. On the other hand, I kind of like that if I'm wrong. The one time I bet for Brady that I'm wrong, then I'm happy because the Chiefs win. I'd rather have Mahomes win it because I just, I like seeing that. See the new era kind of it'd be such a story. I think the narrative, the NFL execs cannot be happier about having the newcomer, the new heir to the golden boy. It's like,
I know this is what we've all been
huge.
waiting for.
Yeah, if Brady beats out Mahomes at 43, Mahomes is going to be in that shadow for years. Because it's like, what are you going to do at 43 or 42? Like, how good are you going to be?
It's so hard. Like, so I picked the Bucs because, like, I just, that's what I think is going to win. But like, when you think about like picking against the Chiefs is so hard because they lose. Like, they almost never lose. Like, they've only lost one game since like 29, like November of 2019. Like, it's like they like, okay, even no matter how good the other team is, like the Chiefs just don't they just don't lose. They'll find a way to win somehow. So like, that's what scares me. But one interesting thing, Mahomes was the last quarterback to beat Brady back in week 12. That's the last time Brady lost. But Brady's the only QB to ever beat Mahomes in the playoffs. So it's going to be an interesting matchup.
Right. They're 2-2. They're 2-2, I believe.
Yeah, they're 2-2. So this is, this could be the decider if Brady,
it's literally the stuff of movies, the rematch, yeah, you're right.
But Jared and Jonathan, I want to get your guys' thoughts. Like, so you guys both, we know who you guys picked to win. I want to hear, like, what's the one reason why you think the team you picked to win can lose? Like, what does the other team have over your team that, you think that could get the better of you?
I can go first, Jared, if you don't mind. So, I mean, both of y'all's points, like, it was really good. But the one thing I would say the Chiefs, that can happen to the Chiefs for them not to win this game is COVID.
Guys, oh gosh,
guys.
You think if their center is out?
I've sat there and watched these players, Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes, both. Tom Brady, he's smart. He sat there and watched. That's why he went to the NFC. Nobody is stopping Patrick Mahomes. We've never seen anything like him. Nobody's stopping him unless he gets hurt, unless he has a cold, unless he gets COVID, unless the whole team gets COVID. Nobody is stopping Patrick Mahomes. I promise you.
So you're saying
Tom Brady knows it. That's why he went to the NFC.
the only thing that can defeat Mahomes preventing him from not saying kill him, but like the only thing that can defeat Holmes is COVID-19.
Exactly. That's the only thing. I don't care who's playing defense. Nobody can stop this guy. I've seen him. Nobody can do it. I mean,
No, but
you mentioned it. They come back unless
but I
they're
don't
down
think
like
they
5
will.
touchdowns in the first quarter.
But aren't you worried? Like, let's say I think they're going to have 4 touchdowns, 28 points. But do you think they're going to be able to hold the Bucks offense?
Yeah, I mean the Chiefs defense, they come to play in the playoffs. Their defense isn't usually that good during the regular season, but you've seen the past few weeks. I mean, to shut down the Bills offense was doing pretty well with Diggs, right? To be able to shut that offense down, that's not an easy task. In terms of Aaron Rodgers, the Bucks had an easier task. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is good, but stop Devontae Adams, right?
But Josh Allen's better, so it's harder to stop.
Well, Josh Allen has a lot more weapons like Beasley and Diggs, right? Great run game. So there was a lot more pieces to stop on the Bills. The Bucks had an easier task. Stop Devontae Adams, you can win the game, basically, right? So I think the Chiefs defense won't have a tough task stopping the Bucks. And you bring up a good point. The Bucks do have a good D line, right? If Patrick Mahomes and the offense can kind of stay away from that for most of the game, I think they'll be fine. But again, Patrick Mahomes, a lot of his success happens when he scrambles, because you have speedy Tyreek Hill and Robinson and all these guys that are so fast and good at just getting open. So that's when a lot of their success comes anyway. So I mean, maybe that could help them and not hurt them. But I hear you. I mean, the Bucks defense has improved this season. They have a great D line, but I just think, nothing's gonna be able to stop this guy.
I mean, you brought up a good point where it's actually like the absence of Fisher for the Chiefs at tackle might
And Schwartz.
And well, I mean, I think the center, yeah, right. But those might actually open up more options down the field for Mahomes, because he is so good at evading pressure that the Bucks, they were able to get it with 4 people. But if they can it's kind of like the Chiefs know that's their weakness, so they can anticipate the Bucks going after that and maybe giving an extra man on the blitz. But that means they take away a man from the secondary, and Mahomes can pick that apart but they have so many weapons, with Hill and Kelsey, that it's like maybe they'll exploit their own weakness to their advantage, and I think that's, we talked about it a little bit, but I mean, it's like, I agree a little bit where you're saying the Chiefs defense has improved, and that's true. I mean, the last team to beat the Bucks was the Chiefs, and I would say even still, like today, the Buccaneers probably have a better defense than the Chiefs, but doesn't necessarily mean the best defense always wins either. Like the Chiefs are good enough and have improved since their last meeting, but so have the Bucks. So then it comes down to, well, what offense can produce more? I hope it's a big game, man, because the last time we saw Brady in the Super Bowl, what was it, with the Rams? One of the most boring games I've ever seen in my life. Like, I just hope it's a shootout. I hope it's a fun game to watch, at least, or a blowout in one direction or the other. I just hope it's not a hugely defensive game. I think it'd be fun to see these guys, show what they got.
Yeah. As far as what I'm worried about with the Chiefs, it's Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill, man, he has the speed, the deep threat to change the momentum of the game. We saw it happen last year in the Super Bowl. That one play that they had, like a 60-yard completion to Tyreek Hill, sparked the 10-point comeback for them to win. So that's the one thing. Even if the Chiefs are down like 21-0, there's one play, a deep throw to Tyreek Hill, that will spark a huge run. It's the one thing. I'll say 2 things. The one thing is like that you can never count out the Chiefs. So no matter what you're up by, they have the ability to go on an insane run and just take the lead away from you in seconds. So as far as that, Tyreek Hill, and also on the offensive side, Travis Kelsey, man. The Bills made a huge mistake deciding to just not cover Travis Kelsey. They left him wide open, easy completions.
Did they do that on purpose?
Huh?
Did they do that on purpose, or?
Oh, they did it. They must have. I mean, they did it so many times it was
They
ridiculous.
wanted, yeah, they knew, they just had to let it be Mahomes versus Brady because they knew.
I mean, what do you do? Do you cover Travis Kelce or do you triple team Hill?
You gotta
Like,
you have to double Hill, and you have to put a guy on Kelsey, and you have to jam Kelsey at the line. That's the trick because he's so good. Once you give him a little bit of space, he's too shifty and he's too smart with the route running and what you're
Yeah.
playing on defense. So you need to jam him at the line, and you need to put two guys on Hill, one inside and one outside over the top.
Yeah,
His
what person
route
can do that on the Bucks though? What key safety can handle the task of covering Kelsey and jamming him? Right, Kelsey's strong. You
I'll
need a
be
superstar to
honest.
cover this guy, and they don't have any superstars in the secondary that I'm aware of.
I don't think it's about not you have to just contain him. So if he does get the ball, you contain him to 5 yards, 10 yards, something like that. Do not give him any big plays. But Travis Kelce's route running is absolutely filthy.
Yeah.
But something that was a big factor in the Saints game and a big factor in the Packers game was fumbles. That Bucks defense can create fumbles like nobody's business in the playoffs. And you saw in the Saints, Jared Cook fumbled twice. That's their main tight end. So Kelce, even though he catches the ball, they may give him some space to catch, but they are going straight for the ball. There were times where they weren't even going for the tackle. They were going head first for that ball. So that's another game time decision that they can make.
That's a good point because I'm not too worried in like Hill and Kelsey, they pretty much hold on to the ball pretty well once they have it. But like Hardman, we saw that fumble against the Bills.
Mhm.
And then you have Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who's a rookie, and then you have Le'Veon Bell. They're both like questionable. And then you got Darrell Williams, who hasn't really played in the playoffs. Like last year, it was Damian Williams who played throughout the playoffs. So like that backfield, they could definitely fumble it. One of those three. Who do you put in? That's a big decision for Reed because you have Bell, you have Edwards-Helaire. They're both injured. Which one's healthier? Who do you trust more? It's a tough decision. But I will say that don't be surprised. And I'm not saying I hope this doesn't determine the game or anything, but don't be surprised. I think the refs are going to I think the NFL kind of wants Mahomes to win this game, kind of like a changing of the guard.
Well,
So
you know what?
don't be surprised. Like, I'm not saying,
no.
there's going to be like the pass interference.
I don't know.
Rams and Saints, but I'm just saying, don't be surprised
Remember
if
the last
No, stop.
calls
'cause
going.
I kind of feel like you're joking, but I know you're kind of not. Because we've had comments that feel like the games are rigged. So this is why I want to say.
Sometimes I feel like that. Yeah.
I don't think the games are rigged. I don't think we can't.
I don't think they are, but come on. Don't you think
remember the last time they met and they were like
No.
going back and forth?
Yeah. Okay. Yes.
Can't.
There's no way that's
There's no conspiracy, but I do agree that if I was an NFL, if I was the NFL, it's like I think if you ask any executive, you'd want the Cowboys in the Super Bowl every year because they have the biggest fan base and it increases the numbers and I'm just saying that's from a business point of view. I'm sure the NFL's business interest. I don't think that affects the play, but
I'm saying
John,
like
your point.
That's why the Cowboys haven't been doing well. Roger Goodell doesn't like the Cowboys, right? Because him and Jerry Jones had a little spar.
Stop. No more.
That's why.
okay, yeah, we finally found the reason. No, but I'm saying like once they get the group together and the NFL officials, they're like, okay, you guys are reffing the Super Bowl. You don't think they're like giving them tips like, okay, this is what happened the last time they played, like, if it's
Are you saying the refs are saying this?
No, I'm saying like the NFL is saying it to the refs, like, okay, so give it another inch or two, like if the team's down by a little bit, because we want it to be high scoring and like
fun fact. There's a fun fact with this one. Sarah Thomas will be the first female to ref the Super Bowl.
No, to be honest, I watched her in the playoffs and stuff. She's actually really good. She makes really good calls, really good spots. So
hopefully she lets him play, and doesn't try to.
No, she's
famous on TV during the Super Bowl.
From what I've seen, she's really good. She makes good calls. So.
I feel like that's a good a sign of a good ref is when you don't know them that well. Like I've heard about the news and I think that's great, but like you only like when a ref makes a game-changing decision, you start to know their name. So I feel like they're doing a good job of being unbiased, fair, when you only know them for, I mean, more props, props, mad props. I do want to bring up, what was it? If this was, we were mentioning Hill and Kelsey, right? If it was, Mahomes playing, I'm trying to frame this in the right way, but say if it was, instead of Hill, it was Edelman, and instead of Kelsey, it was peak Gronkowski. Would you guys give the edge to the Chiefs? Like, do you guys feel like Hill and Kelsey are comparable to those two? And is Mahomes comparable to that Brady? Like, is it an interesting thought I had? I was wondering what you guys would think if you were to like compare them
So you're
similarly.
saying if I were to put
'Cause
Edelman and Gronk and Mahomes would
Peak.
throw to them?
Like because we know that we have an idea of who Gronk wins and Edelman's won, but we don't feel that way with Hill and Kelsey. But are they not similar talent? So like if we were to substitute it, would we give the edge to the Chiefs?
I think they're better talent. I think Hill's better
right.
than Edelman. I think Kelsey's better than Gronk.
Right.
What?
So I
What?
kind of feel
Hill has
similarly too.
They leverage Hill's speed a lot. Like
Yeah.
even when he's not getting the ball, you see like what Jared said last week. He just runs in the backfield, it's kind of scaring the defense a little.
They don't waste
They
his
can't do it
speed.
with Edelman.
No, but so okay.
I think Brady made Edelman better for sure.
Yeah.
But
I have the same. Okay, I think we're on the same page here in that Mahomes' style lends more towards Kelsey and Hill because they're faster, and it's hard to picture Mahomes running an offense that's methodical and like how Brady was always like touching it over the top to like Gronk on the seam or down the sideline, and then Brady like firing it in the middle to Edelman. You don't really see that like with Mahomes, but I mean, who's a better player? I think Edelman's definitely better than Hill. I mean, he's had a better career, and at the end of his career, he's going to be better.
But without, I don't know. It's a similar thing. Like with Brady, he was better, I think, and Hill has Mahomes, so we got to see at the end of his career. I mean, personally, I think Hill's better in talent right now, but he doesn't have the better resume.
He drops open passes.
The defenses are more scared of Hill. Believe me, defensive coordinators are like they're scared of facing Hill.
He's just too fast.
No, they're more scared. They're more scared of playing Edelman in his prime.
They can contain him, but Hill.
But they're totally different players. Like you put.
I meant more like just like mentally, we feel like, oh, Brady, Edelman, give him Gronk.
That's
They're gonna
true.
win. But like Mahomes, give him Hill, give him Kelsey. He already won one with them, so like makes you think. I don't. Yeah.
Or if you could take away Hill and put Edelman in and still have Kelsey, I don't know. I mean, I feel like you need that deep threat to make that Andy Reid offense work.
Yeah.
People are more scared of that deep touchdown rather than like the 10, 15-yard open pass. They'll give that to you all day.
You can like on a comeback drive. I think Brady and Rodgers have talked about when you're down in the fourth quarter, like at some point you have to get like a 30-yard pass to build morale. Like it's not even just check down. Like part of the strategy is on a comeback drive, you have to hit like a 20, 30-yard pass to force the defense to cover that. Because if you just do check down, they control the game. And it's a similar kind of thinking where it's like, I mean, I do want to mention, just a kind of tangent here, but we should talk more about Fournette. Like Fournette has stayed healthy and has been playing really well. So I feel like that's going to be a dark horse that if they can use him with the Buccaneers can use him against the Chiefs, that can give Brady the kind of time management he wants if they can't stop Fournette.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And Ronald Jones. I mean, they have the potential to rush for maybe 70 yards each. And that could be a game changer. Fournette had a touchdown run against the Packers. And he's had playoff experience. He hasn't been in the Super Bowl, but he has had that playoff experience.
He's played really well, though. Yeah.
Yeah, extremely well.
And I feel like the Chiefs I'd want Bell back because I think Clyde Edwards-Helaire is great. But if it was between Edwards-Helaire right now and Fournette, I think Fournette's better. Whereas Bell's more of like a punt. Yeah, I mean, Bell's not as peak.
Weird,
but
like why are even when they got him, they just haven't like used him as much as I thought they would.
I think as a fantasy owner of Edwards-Helaire, they used him too much. they used him too much because I think it has diversified the workload, which we talked about. Like probably saves Edwards-Helaire a little longer. Like keep him healthy, these young running backs, dude. They put their bodies on the line, so to be able to diversify it a bit, it's good. But what I'm saying is like Bell, I think is questionable to play, but you want that kind of they're different hammers, in terms of the run game. So I'd want Bell back. I think not having Bell's going to hurt the Chiefs if they're trying to raise against a Fournette run game.
Yeah, Fournette and Jones. If the Bucks want to win this game or have a good shot at winning this game, they need to utilize them really well to burn the clock. Because I promise you, Patrick Mahomes and the offense, they have a game plan ready. They're going to score points. It's a matter of, can the Bucks score a lot more? Can their defense make plays? Can they burn some time off the clock to stop, decrease the bleeding, right?
Yeah.
So I think Jones and Fournette are going to have to play a huge role in the Super Bowl for the Bucks to win this game. Because if Tom Brady just passes it for most of the time, it's going to be a shootout, and Patrick Mahomes is going to win that shootout. I think.
I agree with that.
There's so much weapons, so much plays they can use.
I actually disagree with that. I think if you run it too much, you're gonna, let's say you run it 20 times, 25 times, you have less passes and you have less chance to, then if you run it first and second down and then you throw a third down and don't get it, you're like, now we're we took 40 seconds off the clock, big whoop, now we give it right back to them. I think they need to play within themselves. And what we've seen in the playoffs is that they really haven't been running it that much. So I'd like to see them not run it 20 times, maybe 15, because I want Brady. If I'm the offensive coordinator, I want Brady dropping back. I trust Evans and Godwin and Gronk and Brate and Miller over any of the Chiefs cover guys, because I don't think none of them that are matched up will win that battle. I would take any of them one-on-one.
Well, it's like we talk. I do think the Buccaneers have a better defense, and the Chiefs. We say this every year, but not every year, but the Chiefs won a Super Bowl with the less than all-time, less than the number one defense. Like they beat the 49ers, which had a really good defense. If you remember that year, they had everyone healthy. But like you were saying, I mean, it's like I actually agree with Jonathan where if it's a shootout, like if you think like where it's not, the Rams Patriots was a defensive game. The Eagles Patriots was a very offensive shooting like gunslinging game. I think if it's like the Eagles Patriots Super Bowl between Mahomes and Brady, I think just the benefit of youth, benefit of the offensive mind that Reed has, I think Mahomes and company will win that.
Yeah, but look back at their only loss this season. The Raiders scored like almost 40 points. I don't know, it was somewhere around 40. So like the only like data point that we have on their losses has come when the team won a shootout against them. So I just don't. It's so hard to beat the Chiefs if you just run it. You need to beat. I know it's hard to beat them in the shootout, but that's how you're going to have to do it.
You're probably right. I think you're gonna have to be bold to beat Brady. You're gonna have to be bold to beat Mahomes, and I think it's. That's why I don't think it's gonna be a shootout, because they do have. It's weird because they both have good defense both defenses have statistically improved since they last met, and they've both improved in limiting offenses. So like some of the talk is that this might be even though they have huge offensive players on the team, you might see scores be kind of. You're starting to look at efficiency of drives. You know what I mean? Teams doing well in terms of getting the ball and doing that. But I don't know. I think that's why if you're Brady, you really want to be able to, like against Rodgers and Brady, you didn't really get to see Rodgers develop an offense because the defense was just pounding down on him. So I think that's what the Bucks will want. That's why I don't think it's going to be a shootout. If both defenses suck, I think you're going to have to diversify.
Yeah. I mean, just last thing I'll say, just remember this. They played each other already this season, so they have film on that. Then the Bucks have lost 5 games in this regular season. Let's not forget that. So there's a lot of things you can do, right? There's a lot of weaknesses that were exposed this season. And believe me, Andy Reid is so smart. They're going to figure it out the first play, the first drive. I'm telling you.
But remember, offenses and teams evolve, and neither team has lost since they played in Week 12. So, like, Brady's they haven't seen this version of Brady's offense.
Same with the Chiefs, though. Chiefs have evolved in their own ways too. To make. I mean, it's why it's so hard to predict. That's why I'll be happy if the Chiefs win. But it's interesting because I think the only coaches to have gone to back-to-back Super Bowls twice is, I think, Andy Reid, Belichick, and I think Landry. So it's like you might be seeing a Bill Belichick level coaching mind on the other side of the ball against Brady. And if that were to win with Mahomes, I mean, let's talk about narratives,
It's going to be literally historic Super Bowl if either wins.
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes wins, back-to-back champ. Tom Brady wins. Freaking 40-year-old, 43-year-old winning a Super Bowl. It just doesn't make any sense.
So annoying.
It's crazy.
The guy that dethroned Tom Brady That's an
I don't know. That's not what the headlines are gonna say.
Well, that's the thing. If Brady wins, right? This is, I know we're beating a dead horse here. If Brady wins, though, it's like he beats the newcomer at 43. He beats Mahomes, right? Who's like kind of in his prime. Or if Mahomes wins, he follows the same path that Brady did in terms of repeating, not the same exact path, but repeating twice. It's something
Mhm.
not often. That I think the last person to do it was Brady himself, right? So Wilson went back the second time, but they lost. But you know what I mean? It's gonna be big. I'm excited.
So we have Bucks. Jonathan is the Chiefs, and then everybody else is Bucks as well. So 3 Bucks, 1.
I'll be happy for Jonathan. I'll be happy for you if you're like the lone one to pick and you come out on top after how much crap you've gotten for being against the Bills. I think it'd be just.
That would be perfect. Well, I'm gonna end this with some interesting facts about this particular Super Bowl in 2021. Starting with the average cost of a ticket in the past 5 Super Bowls has been $5,500, right? So how much would you say what would you say the lowest priced ticket is for this year's Super Bowl? If the
75.
the average was
7,500.
5,500. 7,500?
So it was 5,500 before it was the lowest.
5,500 was the average of the past 5 Super Bowls.
Dude,
Average ticket price.
Because on the one hand,
I'd say probably the minimum is $5,000.
has it gone down because it's COVID and you can't go to a game, or has it gone up because the supply is limited? You know,
Well, let's use our degree.
I'm gonna guess. The degree which. I'm gonna say. Let's go 4,000.
The lowest price Super Bowl ticket is $8,600.
Wow.
Okay.
So
I shouldn't.
very exclusive Super Bowl this year.
Yeah.
Wow.
I said it myself. So the supply went down. So throwing it away.
Should have known microeconomics class.
Yeah. Rational consumers.
Dr. Vern, man.
Dr. Vern.
Dr. Vern. Shout out to Vern, man. He just retired recently, like 2 years ago.
We should. I hope he listens to the podcast.
Good guy, man. Good guy. So with that, there's gonna be 14,500 fans, and 7,500 will be vaccinated healthcare workers.
Let's go.
Which is 30% of the stadium's capacity. Okay, so we're gonna have vaccinated healthcare workers at the Super Bowl. That's always fun.
That's great.
This is a little sad note. It's the first time in 37 years that Budweiser will not have a Super Bowl commercial.
Yeah, I saw that. No horses.
You mentioned there were other companies, right? Jared, not
it's in parentheses that Coca-Cola, Hyundai, and Pepsi won't have them either.
Yeah, and I told you this before, but my bet, talking about my marketing background, I would bet that they usually film these commercials in the fall, and then they run them a little bit towards the end of the fall into the Super Bowl. But because of COVID, they probably just couldn't film the ones they wanted. But I'm a little surprised there. I mean, who else is going to be paying? I wonder what the price of an ad is. Has it gone up or down because there's less buyers?
Yeah.
It's gone. I'm pretty sure.
Buy an ad. Maybe there's some spots over.
Dorn debate.
Debate.
Coming to your
pretty
screens.
sure. So I'm pretty sure it's gone up, and the price this year is for 30 seconds, which I think we could round up this amount of money and put a Dorn debate ad. It's 5.5 million.
Wait,
You guys-
are you kidding me?
We're gonna have to sell a lot more stickers.
5.5 million. You might as well, if you're gonna run an ad, you might as well put like you could fill the whole stadium with that and whatever fans you want.
Well, I've also read that we talk about that's the price of a 30-second ad, but I think Gary Vaynerchuk's talked about it where like what they do is you have to pay that much for a 30-second ad, but you have to commit to running ads with the NFL for like 12 months.
Oh,
so
no
it's
way.
like you're in it for the long haul, which is why it kind of prevents some other. I could be wrong, but I feel like that's why you don't see every billionaire who just has 5 million to throw in the trash to make like a meme ad. Maybe, but I think that's part of it. Is it's more expensive, but it's surprise. I mean, I don't know. Part of me feels like these companies, a lot of people, not one of the fun things about the Super Bowl is the commercials. It's just part of the game in a weird way, and it's as tough of as a year as it was for 2020. I feel like a lot of people watching the game would have enjoyed it. So, not to say it's going to be without it, but that's sad to see the horses won't be there. I wonder. Got to keep them safe, I guess.
Yeah, man. I mean, how much for like a 1 second ad? Maybe we could just
get our logo.
Like, just the logo, just like Dorn Debate.
Yeah, like subliminal messaging.
I think it's if you do the math, that's probably like what $500,000.
Jeez. Oh my god! It's like one just long enough for someone to be like, "What did you see that?
Is that an ad? Yeah, nobody will even know it's Dorn.
Did we just lose connection for? There's a lot of orange on the screen. Like what? That's crazy though.
Okay, so as this is more common, but this is the first time a team will play the Super Bowl in their own stadium. Tampa Bay Buccaneers are playing in Raymond Stadium. That is their home field. But we're going to get into this small little segment before we wrap up the podcast. And I found this poll, and it says, what would you give up to go to the Super Bowl? And they gave them these are the 4 most popular.
Where'd you find this poll?
The internet.
Okay. No, I just want to give you a chance to give credit if there was a chance to give credit.
We'll figure out later. Somewhere on there. 52% said that they would give up a year's worth of vacation days to go to the Super Bowl.
Wow.
In Jonathan's case, that's 0 anyway. So 31% said they would give up an annual bonus. Depending on
if the bonus is less, then
I feel like your annual bonus should be more than 5.5.
I mean
5,500.
Right.
14% said that they would give up their savings account balance.
How much are people saving?
People are so poor nowadays.
Yeah, I probably have $1 in there.
Yeah, dude, they could take my $4. I don't care. And 3%,
that's sad.
3% said that they would give up their 401k plan.
That's
years worth
whoever
money.
Whoever says that is just.
This says more about this. This says more about the state of finances in our country than like the desire to see football.
Yeah,
it's like we're saving so little, man. Times are tough. I don't know what I would do.
This begs the question: what would we give up to go to the Super Bowl? Does anyone, if they legit NFL called us and was like, "Hey, we have tickets for you to go to the Super Bowl, but you have to give up this one thing," like how much would you give up?
I'd give up on Dorm Debate in 2. No, I'm just kidding.
Traitor.
See you guys. I'm gone.
You have to go solo.
Even better.
By yourself around all these strangers.
No, to be honest, I don't know. Does anybody else know? I need to think for a second.
I mean, if among the options you mentioned, I'd probably take the vacation days one, like substitute my vacation days for the trip to the Super Bowl, because I mean, I get I don't get vacation days, so and B, like I don't have a lot of money saved, but just not good business to put your 401k, your savings account, your bonus. Like, not that I have much of any of these. I think, we out here, but I don't know if it was like. Plus, you work weekends. I mean, you don't work weekends, so you take a weekend off. We still have Sundays, Saturdays off.
What if you had to give up your favorite food for a year?
Broccoli. I love broccoli.
Stop.
Darn it.
Vegetables, am I right?
No, I would do that. I would do that. I would give up pizza. So I could do that.
You would
Uh,
do that for
Depends who. Okay, if it's like, what could be a possible scenario? If it was like Cowboys Patriots, I don't want to go. I don't want to be there.
That's true. but this game,
Oh, for this
this is
game, that changes.
legendary. So
Yeah,
I
for
would
this
give
game, yeah, I
up my
would.
favorite 10 foods just to
No, if it's this game, then I'd find a way to be there. If it was one of these options,
I would give up.
yeah.
I would give up my Xbox if they said you couldn't play
Oh.
games for a year. I would.
can't play you can't play Xbox, you can't play Madden for a whole year.
Yeah,
How
I would give that up to go to this Super
Yeah.
Bowl.
what would
Yep.
you guys? I'm curious. 6 months of no internet. Would you still
Oh,
go to the Super
no.
Bowl?
Six months. Well, I need to pass my classes.
No dorm debate episodes, guys.
How bad do you want success?
you?
Just email your professor like I have to do everything
How about-
by mail now because.
How about delete your favorite social media account?
Oh,
for
that's easy. I'll do that immediately. I'll delete all of them. In fact,
Stop it.
Here, take them right now. I don't want to.
Please take it.
I'd still do that because it's like this is a one. I still regret not going to the Eagles parade when they won, and it's like this is a similar
I
like
remember that you were debating
like-
going down to Philly.
I should have just gone. I shouldn't have asked permission. What is it? I think it's a similar thing where it's like this is like the Thriller in Manila, like it's like this is because I mean you hope it's gonna be a fun game, but it's one of those things. It's like this is a huge rivalry. It's like Jordan LeBron, like Jordan Bryant. It's like it'd be cool to be able to say I was there.
Yeah, I mean last year when it was 49ers Chiefs, that's not too much, but like to have Patrick Mahomes, if he wins, he's going to be number one unanimous quarterback right now. But if Brady wins, like imagine
It
being
cements the
there for
legacy.
what could be Brady's last Super Bowl. Like, oh man,
Yeah,
that just
could be.
chills, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, and I have one more thing to say. What do you think the average amount of calories are at a average football party feast?
Like in total, like the whole
that,
bag of
that
chips.
somebody eats?
Yeah, like
No, just total, like that opportunity calories.
Oh
that are
my
there.
God.
okay.
You gotta. What do we got? We got wings.
Dip alone has so much oil.
Okay,
like,
it's gotta
chicken
be
dip.
it's
Dip,
gotta be
wings,
over
pizza.
10,000.
pizza.
You're talking about like a whole pie, right? Not what you're gonna eat, but like what's available to you,
Let's
right?
remember the first meal we had at the Falcons Patriots Super Bowl at my dorm. We had Jonathan bought us four boxes of or 3 boxes of Pizza Hut plus breadsticks.
Oh, that was good. Oh, I'm
So
so
we got to
hungry.
think. Say someone goes all out: breadsticks, pizza, wings, dip
Dude.
for appetizers, nachos.
No,
Well, I'm gonna think about it a different way. I'm gonna say let's say the average person eats, let's say 3,000 calories there, and the average party maybe has 20 people. But to eat all the food that you have at the party, you need, let's say, 30 people. So I'm gonna say 30 times 3,000. So that's 90,000. I'm gonna say 90,000 calories.
Okay.
I definitely think it's really high because we underestimate. Like, dude, it's like a dip alone. Cheese, we hate to say it, but cheese is so good, but it's got so much calories, and it's how much butter is in pizza, I'm gonna guess. This is just a guess, but what was your number, John? Again,
90,000.
I'm gonna say I feel like it's gonna be super high, but
It's
total.
way lower than that. I'll tell you that.
I'm gonna say. But I'd like that's what I would. I'm gonna go. I was thinking it was my original thought. I'm gonna go 50,000. That's what I originally thought.
Okay.
And for me, based off the context clues that Jared gave, I'm gonna say 15,000.
All right. Jonathan has won. He's the closest.
What?
It says 10,821 is the average calories at a football party feast.
No, I don't.
No
I don't
way.
believe that
I'm
for even
sorry.
Well,
5
you got to
seconds.
think. You got to.
No, that's got to be individually. I can imagine so.
Yeah, individually.
individual 10,000.
No, not that I'm gonna eat 10,000, but my opportunity for the food I can actually fit in my stomach and it's available.
Like,
to
yeah, like I'm
10,000.
talking a whole spread of like how many pizza pies, how many spreads of dip, how many chips, like, add them all up. You got to
And then
get
you
into
have
like
all of the dessert. It's not even. That's just like
soda.
food, soda. Oh my gosh.
How many Cokes, man? That's I. Well, congratulations, Jonathan.
It
To be a
says, oh my gosh. Okay. You know what? It's
That's
0
development.
because calories don't count on Super Bowl day. It doesn't
Oh,
use
No,
much.
you just gotta drink water to dilute it.
Yes.
Water
Yeah.
washes it all
And then
down.
it doesn't count. Just your body doesn't recognize it.
Exactly.
That's what
Exactly.
we would say that every time we went to Five Guys or Smash Burger. It's diluted.
Even Jonathan, you would have 2 pieces of Pizza Hut pizza and you're shredded. You got abs and everything.
I don't know how you had that diet and had that physique.
Did you eat any breakfast or lunch, or it was just dinner?
It was mostly probably just dinner, I think.
Yeah, that's the trick. Just one meal a day.
That's basically you're fasting every day, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. Just
Especially, I'm sure there's something deep there.
well, that's all I
Okay.
got. I had
No,
the other one was Sarah Thomas was the first female ref to do the Super Bowl. So that's all the interesting facts we had. Did anybody else find any interesting little things, little tidbits about this Super Bowl? It's a historic one, and there's a lot of things happening. It's gonna look extremely weird with 30% of the stadium's capacity.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. The only stats I had were the ones that I said, but one other one I just thought of now. Michael Jordan had 6 rings. Brady has 6. So, Brady could, if he gets the 7th, he could be regarded as the best player in sports history.
True. This is true.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I agree with that.
You agree with it?
He could be.
Let's get into. No, just kidding.
I wasn't listening.
All right, well, let's wrap this up. It was a little bit longer than I expected, but not too long. We still kept it under an hour. Oh my
Hey,
God, it's 51 minutes.
let's
Wow.
go.
Not too bad. Thank you guys again for joining us for our Super Bowl edition of the podcast. We're going to have one more episode, our initial reactions to the winner of the Super Bowl. And after next week's podcast, we'll be taking a week to 2 week, maybe 3 week hiatus to kind of recover. And we're a little burnt out from doing 20 something weeks straight of the podcast. So we're going to take a break, and then we'll be back for season 2 of the Dorm Debate podcast. We'll revamp it, rebrand it. It'll be awesome. And yeah, thank you guys for rocking with us all this time, and hope you guys enjoyed the episode, and we will see you guys next week.